program that I'm giving. And what we're going to go over tonight is using the Automator tool on the Mac to do something that's fairly amazing. Um, so get ready to be amazed. And again, I think whether you live stream or not, this is something that can be used and applicable to just about anything in addition to live streaming. So what I'm about to show you is I'm going to go live here on YouTube. To everyone else, it's not going to look like I'm live, of course. Let me hit refresh on that. And of course, I'm not live anymore. So I have a template here. I already have one of these recorded, the live chat subscription program down here on my system trade, so you can see live chat subscribers. And so when I go live, it automatically creates a shell here for me in the YouTube studio. And so that's what I'm going to be focusing in on this evening. Is I'm going to go live, so you can see how I go live a little bit. And then you're going to see how I lock it down. So it's live chat, or live chat is locked down to subscriber only mode. And so again, you can use this for anything. I don't believe that they've yet developed a setting on YouTube where you can configure this in advance. So for those that create the tiles in advance, you may not even need this functionality, because you'll have the tile there, and then it will then you have disposable time to manipulate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Automator application, and again, I have mine on the system tray over here in the far right, like I can show you here. So I've opened up that application. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new document, and then I'm going to select application. So let me zoom in so people can see that. So that's what I'm doing. It allows me to select application. You can do many, many, many things, which I would love to show, which I'll hopefully get a chance to show, like the thumbnail tiles. I believe I use like something like quick action, for example, where you can throw like a PDF document into one of those scripts, and it'll crunch out like a bunch of JPEG files or whatever you specify from it, and they'll be numbered and indexed and all that other fancy stuff. So I'm going to choose application, and then I'm going to go over here under the left hand side here, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and look for something called Do As I Do. So let's see, or Watch Me Do, if you will. So that is what I'm going to activate here. So as you can see in the upper right hand corner here, there's record. So it's that simple. Watch Me Do will play back any mouse and keyboard events, just like it says down here in the bottom left corner of this. And of course, there are some settings that you would have to allow your script to be able to access, like accessibility features, in order for this to work. So, and the cool thing is that if someone modifies this script, my computer will tell me, hey, this is not authorized to run. And so that's that's another safety feature, if you will. It locks that down so that only the version that you record and approve of will work, right? Okay, so let me zoom out here. I'm going to hit the record button, but only after I go live. So let me go live here. I'm going to hit the live stream or the start streaming button like I always do every night. And so as you can see, I'm pushing out uh, already a bunch of, and this is what I look at for my degradations, or when people say that, well, it's buffering. Well, it's not buffering on my end because I have zero drop frames, for example. And as long as this little green cube over here is green, I'm good to go. It's getting enough data to transmit and live stream off of. Okay, so let me go back up to the top. So what I'll do is I'll refresh, and you'll see my new live stream up here. And of course, it's there it is, but it's in private mode, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up kind of like for subscribers only, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to my Automator program. I'm going to hit the record button, and then I'm going to click on a bunch of stuff really quickly, and maybe tweak it a little bit, so that I know what that will look like. Okay, so I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to start clicking. I had to re-record this anyway, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So I'm going to hit the record button. I'm going to hit the Firefox button. I'm going to hit my live stream tile. Now you'll notice it takes a while for this to come through because sometimes the edit button doesn't show up right away. So I'm going to hit the back button. I'm going to go back in it. I'm going to hit the edit button. I'm going to do customization. I'm going to do subscribers. I'm going to do custom. And then I'm going to do 4 or 5 days and then save. And then I'm going to hit the back button, and then I'm going to hit the X button. So there it is. I just, or you just, if you wanted to follow along, just, created a watch me do script. And so what I'm going to do next is basically save this and then run it. So there you have that. I probably have to do a lot of other stuff to it, but let me unset this so that I can show you what this would look like when it runs. I didn't have this additional step where I click on this, because what happens is sometimes the script, if it's not in perfect synchronization, what will happen is that it's all it's going to do is what I programmed it to do exactly, and it's expecting that it'll click on Firefox to get focus on that window first. It'll click on this next, and then sometimes if this page does not load, the edit button is like way over here on the right, for example. And so it'll, whether the edit button is here or not, it's going to click here. And so what I found is some nights, if I don't take that additional step of clicking on this first, then whenever the script executes, the edit button is not in the proper location. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how this works in like real time. I'm going to do anyone. But let me make sure that these are not 5 days. I'm going to make sure whatever the default is, I'm going to say any duration, and then I'm going to set this back to anyone. And then let's see here. I think it was 5 minutes, or what was it? That was what it was defaulted before. That's what it defaults to. And then, okay, so I'll show you in real time how this script works. And this is part of my setup each evening, before I turn on the audio music, or sometimes I don't. So I'm going to get this ready. So here is my live chat subscribers example. And of course it doesn't do that additional step like I showed you. But when I click on it, watch it go. And as you can see, it clicks on edit. It clicks on customization, clicks on subscribers, custom, and then it sits on 5 days and save. And then the changes are saved. And then, I usually go back to this because otherwise it's taking up additional bandwidth. So there you have it. That's how you can use Automator. But the caveat is that where it's clicking has to be ready 100% of the time. Otherwise, you end up rerunning it multiple times. I'll show you another one. Check this out. So sometimes whenever, let's say, and I would have to have all my stuff open, but let's say that I accidentally click on all, like Firefox behind me. So I have this pray now script, and what it does, watch, it'll open up all these apps all at once and get them in a proper location and whatnot. So again, there you have it, and that's the example that I'm basically showing you. Now again, when I do that, these are pretty much already opened, if you will. So so that's how these Automator tools work. And then once you save them as a particular name in the Automator, once you have tested it, you can even speed up the number of duration or how fast it clicks per each item. And so, as you can tell, you can tell it how fast to go. This is 1 times fast. You can make it slower. You can make it faster, if you will. And so, if you want to experiment with Watch Me Do, it's an excellent thing to try and experiment with. And the cool thing is that I've found is that when it clicks on Firefox or whatever you designate it to click on in the dock, it doesn't matter, if I rearrange these at the bottom, it will find where Firefox is and it will click on it. So that's the only differentiation, if you will, when it's in the Watch Me Do mode. If you move wherever the application is in your dock, it'll find it. And so there you have it. So that's all I have for this particular third installment, if you will, of behind the scenes with me. I'm going to do some more cleanup action here and get things going and planned out for the next go round. Again, there are many pieces to this, and yeah, it may seem intimidating, but with enough experimentation and such, anyone can automate just about anything with this. Whoops, I'm still live, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop stream here right now, and then watch. As you could tell at the top, I don't know if this is going to go away or not. It may or may not, but I'm not live no more now. And before I was, I've isolated it down to just YouTube, and none of you will see this video that I initiated for live streaming. But now if I hit reload on this page, it'll go back to just my template, if you will. And as you can tell, that's how things work in my world a little bit. I will show some more techniques and ideas, hopefully, maybe tomorrow, maybe at 7:30 also. That seems to be a good time. That's all I have. So thanks so much, everyone. I will catch you all at the next program, and have a great day, and I'll catch you a little bit later, hopefully this evening, God willing. All right, thanks so much, and I'll catch you all